that. How about right now? Can you guys hear me right now? Type in 2 in the chat box if you guys can hear me. Yes, okay. 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, cool. Yeah, I just had to kind of retweak the thing a little bit. Let me just adjust the camera. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. So let's get started. Tonight, we're actually talking about productivity. This is a subject that it might not directly have anything to do with making money online, but indirectly it has everything to do with making money online and just getting results in your business and in your life and with everything else. The reason I'm actually putting this session together is, as you guys know, I just came back from Texas and I was there for like a week, and I met Nick for the first time. Nick is on the call today here, and this is a guy who juggles like a billion things at once. And that kind of got me thinking, man, maybe I should do like a session, because he might not be the only guy that's actually like doing it like that. So I've struggled with this subject for a long time. And this is something that, unfortunately I didn't attend this one session that solved all the problems for me, just like we're doing right now. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you basically my best tips, tricks, hacks, everything that I've learned over my entire career that's basically helping me produce ridiculous amount of results right now with ease. Basically, you're not going to be stressed. You're not going to have any anxiety. You're not going to feel overwhelmed. You're not going to have any of those things, which a lot of people kind of struggle with. Let me just adjust the camera one more time. All right. So who's excited to learn this stuff? If you're excited to learn these things, just type in the number 7 in the chat box. I want to see who here is super excited to learn these things, these hacks. Just type in the number 7. All right. I already see a bunch of 7s coming in. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get started, guys. So first thing and this one is huge, and you want to probably write these things down. Go down to your local Staples or whatever, Walmart or whatever, and buy these things. Okay, what this is it's, let me see if I can focus on this. This is a 3x5 car, like a pack of them. There's 300 in here. They cost around $2. What I do is, like, one of the things that kind of held me back for a long time is I would have a lot of the things that I would need to do right here in my head. And that's a problem, because when you're trying to get stuff done, you need your mind to be 100% clear. And you need to basically only be thinking about the one thing that you're kind of doing. So what I do with these is I actually have a whole box of them over here. I'll show that to you maybe later. But basically, every time I have a thought about something that I need to do, is I take a 3x5 card just like this, and I just write down whatever is it that I need to get done. So this way I write it down here. You don't want to use any digital software for this. I've tried the to-do lists. I've tried all kinds of apps on the iPhone and Android and tablets and all these things. For me, they just did not work, because all it did is it had me like pick up my phone, and when I pick up my phone, I see a billion other messages, and it distracts the crap out of me. So if this makes sense to you, just to use 3x5 cards. The reason I like these is you're going to write down whatever is it that you need to get done right here, and you're going to forget about it. Literally, I have a stack here of things that I kind of need to do here. So these are literally all the things that I need to get done. And I just pick one. I just take one and I just do it. And that's it. I don't worry about the other 7. Also, the reason that these 3x5 cards work is it's different than having a journal. Like if you have a journal or some kind of a binder that you're kind of keeping track in, like you don't want to see all the things that you need to do at once. That is overwhelming. Like it's just going to give you more anxiety. It's just going to overwhelm the crap out of you, and you're not going to be able to focus on what is it that you need to do. The reason I like these, and I'll tell you in a second how I discovered these, is because whatever is it that you need to do, first of all, you can kind of start flipping through them and see, okay, I'm not going to do this one, I'm going to do this other one, yada, yada, yada. But basically what it does is it keeps the overwhelm to minimal, to zero, because you're not looking at 7,000 things you need to do. You're just looking at the one. So I have this stack and I just kind of flip through them for whatever is it that I need to get done. And I just pick one, I leave the stack like somewhere over there, and I just work on this one, just one card right here. Whatever the card says that I need to do, that's what I do. So this is super simple. It's a super easy way, first of all, to remove all the overwhelm and to keep the RAM, so to speak, the memory up in the brain clear, because everything that you need to do is right here. You're not stressed about it. You're not worried about it. You just pick one card and get it done. Now, once I get it done, once you basically do whatever is on the card, and in a minute, I'll tell you about what to put on the card. So you're not putting like, list of 10,000 people. Like, that's not how you do it. You don't want to put like a big giant thing on there. You want to put small little pieces, which we'll get into in a second. So first of all, if this makes sense, 3x5 cards, whatever is it that you're doing right now, pause it. Like, pause. If you're using calendars, if you're using to-do lists, all that kind of stuff, try for 7 days or 14 days, for 2 weeks, to use 3x5 cards. Just buy a bunch of them like this, and just write down whatever is it that you need to do. And as soon as you're done doing whatever is it that's on the card, which in a second we'll get into what is it that you put on these cards, you basically take it, you turn it around, and you put it on like somewhere else. That's going to give you a sense of satisfaction that you're doing stuff, you're moving your business forward. So if that makes sense, just type in 5 in the chat box. Like, this is a really simple one, but this is the one that I found works really, 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 really well for me anyways, because I get overwhelmed pretty easily. Like, when there's too many things, like previously I used to get overwhelmed a lot because there's so many things to do, and you're like looking at a calendar full of stuff. And that's the other thing. I don't use calendars, because with a calendar, what happens is you look at your day and you're like, oh my God, there's like 7,000 things I need to do today. And you already get into like anxiety mode. So this is going to help you to remove that overwhelm and that anxiety, because you know it's on a card, it's out of your brain, you don't need to think about it. And then there's this unexplainable sense of satisfaction when you get something done and you turn it over to the other side. Like, if your cards are on this side, put this on the other side, okay? And you see that pile kind of growing. There's a really good, it's almost like as soon as you turn the first card over in the day when you start, it gives you this extra boost of energy. You know how if you play Mario on Nintendo, Mario kind of powers up, it gets like 20% more running speed or something. That's kind of what it does. Like, as soon as I turn the first one, I noticed that, like, I feel like I want to do more of them. And then you turn the second one and you get more of a boost and more of a boost. So instead of being drained in the end of the day, you're actually increasing your energy, because you're like, wow, I'm getting stuff done. This is happening. Everything is cool. So I see a bunch of people typing in 5. So that's good. And by the way, guys, as I'm telling you about these, if you have some questions, type them in the chat, and then I'll basically address those questions. First, I kind of want to just give you this stuff, and then after that, I'll address whatever questions you guys have. So first one is index cards, just 3x5 index cards. Don't buy anything bigger than this, because you don't want it to take too much space. You want it to be small enough to take with you. Now let's talk about what is it that we put on these cards. What kind of stuff are you going to put on here? So I'm going to take the example of, let's say you're brand new to the industry, okay, and you need to get a certain result. Let's say that result is build a list of 10,000 people. Now, before I get into what we put on these cards, let me give you another technique that I use. And this one is called bridge the gap. You might have heard about this before. You might have not. This is new for me. I've literally only learned about it maybe a year and a half ago. So to explain that one, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be sharing my screen with you guys for a second. And we're basically going to be doing this. I'm going to show you live on the screen how this works. And it's a really simple technique. Like, there's nothing to it really. You just have to decide on what is it that you want to go on here. And this is to address basically goals and achieving goals and things like that. So give me a second until I power up the tablet here. And I'm going to be sharing my screen and basically showing you guys how to do this. Meanwhile, what I want you guys to do is type in the type of goals that you're trying to achieve that you're having a hard time with. Whatever it is, it could be something business related, something personal related, just something that you feel comfortable enough sharing. So this way I can show you an example of how you would use that with Bridge the Gap. So just type it in the chat. The example I'm going to be going through is build a list of 10,000 people. If you want me to show you another example of how to do this for something else, I'll gladly do that. But I want to hear those examples from you guys, like what kind of goal you're trying to achieve. So let me go ahead and share the screen right now. Okay. Pages. 1 second, guys. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so we got one that says Learn Now Lifestyle Systems. Okay, that's a good one. That's a great one, actually. And I'll show you in a second how to address that. Okay, connecting. Let me see how we do this. I want to give you guys a visual for this, so I'm not just going to via word visual for this. Here we go. All right, share screen. Where is the share? Turn screen share on. If you guys can see this, just type in 2 in the chat box, and I'll check the chat box in a second. Let me see. Are we good here? Lost connection. Okay, 1 second, guys. It looks like we lost the connection for some reason. Man, this tech stuff. Can you guys hear me and see me? Let's see. We're good now. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'm going to try to share the screen again. Hopefully this works this time. If it doesn't work, then I guess I'll have to explain it. I guess I'll have to explain it like just like this. Okay. So let me see. So I'm going to do this. Can you guys see my screen like this? Let me just do it. I guess this is good enough. Anyway, can you guys see my screen like this? If you can see my screen, if you can see this hello, just type in 2 in the chat box. If you can't, then I guess we'll have to do it just by me explaining it. No screen. Okay. No screen. All right. Wow, this thing is a pain. Okay, here we go. Can you guys see this? Hello? If you guys can see this, type in 2 in the chat box. If you can't see it, we're going to try one last time. And if this doesn't work, then we're just going to do it not with a screen. Okay, 2. Okay, so it's working. Okay, guys, so here's basically how this works. Okay, it's a really, really, really simple way of doing it. So what you want to do is, this is Bridge the Gap. Okay, and this is how this works. Okay, so what you want to do is you first want to state your goal, whatever your goal is. So let's say your goal is to build a list. So not to build a list, but have a list of basically 10,000 people. So we're going to put 10,000 subscribers here. Okay. So what you're going to do is, this is going to be like your goal. Okay. Whatever the goal is. Now you can do this again for anything. It doesn't matter what the goal is. Usually there's some kind of a bridge between you and your goal. Well, that's why you don't have it yet. Now over here, down here, you're basically going to put very, very honestly, and the honesty part is super important. Okay. you're just going to honestly put where you're at right now. Now, maybe over here, currently you have 0 subscribers, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. Maybe you have 100. Okay. Maybe you have however many you have. You're just going to put that down here. Now look over here. Okay. Look at this part. There's a bridge here. Essentially, there's a bridge that you need to create from here, from right here to over here. If you don't create this bridge, you're not going to get there. Now, what is this bridge? Well, let's think about it. If you currently have 100 subscribers and you want to get to 10,000 subscribers, what do you need to do? Now, the answer to this is, I mean, a lot of you probably know what the answer to this is, but the key here for this specific exercise to work, for this specific technique to work, is you got to break it down into small, little, tiny, micro things that you would do to get to here. You don't just want to put buy, traffic. That's not going to work, because you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, okay, this buy traffic. Okay, I get that. What you want to do instead, that's incorrect. What you want to do instead is you want to put, as an example, research 3 vendors. You also want to put, buy 500 clicks per week. You also want to put something like find highest, converting capture page for you. You also want to put here something like, do automatic deal with vendor for traffic. So example, this would be something like for traffic. This would be something like after you research some vendors, you ran some traffic with maybe 1 or maybe 3 of them. One produced super good results for you. What you're going to do now is you're going to lock this person's traffic to do an automatic 500 clicks per week, purchase. So this way you're not thinking about it anymore. You automatically know that this guy is getting you good results or this gal is getting you really good results. And you're just going to purchase from this person 500 per week on full auto. So this way you're not thinking about it, and it kind of alleviates you from having to do this research over and over and over again. Now, this is basically the step. So if this makes sense to you guys, let me just hear some feedback. If this makes sense to you, if you guys understand this bridge the gap technique, just type in the number 3 in the chat box. So I want to make sure everybody's kind of on board with this. So again, what you're going to do is, the whole idea for this is, first you want to name whatever is it that you want to do. So let's take another example here, because I know a bunch of you typed in. Okay, some people are saying this is blurry, but some people are saying that this is okay. Anyways, okay, let's keep going. Okay, I know JJ wrote down one, converting opt-ins. Okay, well, that JJ, that's not really a goal, but what that is more like that's more of a something that needs to happen kind of thing. So learning now lifestyle systems, let's take that as the example. So let's try to do that. So learn, or I would even name it master, master now lifestyle systems. Okay, so now again, we're going to start off by where you're at right now. So real honestly, you want to put down here, where are you at right now with the Now Lifestyle System? Do you know anything about it? Do you know a little bit about it? So maybe, you're going to put here, right now you don't know anything about it. Don't know anything. Okay, so what would be don't know anything? Okay, fine. So in here, what you want to put is little tiny steps. And this is the key, guys. This is the stuff that you're going to put on the 3x5 cards. Okay. So you're going to have a bunch of things that you're going to list here. So as an example, log in and watch the welcome video. So log in, watch welcome. And then you want to put maybe, log in and go through all the business serious videos, the vids, business videos, like on the step one, on the welcome. Then you might want to go to, try sending broadcast. Try sending a broadcast, and then keep kind of putting in little things that after you've done these little things that you put on the 3x5 cards, basically you've achieved this goal. So do you guys see how this works? I mean, this is not a complicated technique. You basically put whatever is it that you want up here. This is the part that whatever is it that you want to achieve. Down here, you start with what is it that where you're at right now. And over here, everything in here is basically the steps that you got to take in order to get to this goal up here. So hopefully this kind of makes sense. And, you guys get this. So I should be back on video right now. Everybody's saying, some people saying lost connection. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm getting a bunch of threes. So people are getting this. Okay, cool. So do you see how you can use this, guys? This is a really simple way for you to start like understanding where is it that you're even going with your goals. Like most of the time when you feel like you're not moving forward with your business, with your life, with whatever is it that you're trying to do, that's because you don't have very clear defined goals with whatever is it that you need to do. So with the bridge the gap exercise, like I'll give you an example for one that I've got right now, actually. This one is a personal one for me, and I'm kind of in the middle of it. Like I'm already started it. Before I kind of joined the Now Lifestyle thing, again, one of my goals was I want to kind of get healthier, basically. And not that I have any health issues or anything, but I do need to reduce some weight and basically get to my ideal weight, which is somewhere around the 170s, 180 pounds, somewhere around there. So basically what I wrote at the top is get to 170 pounds. At the bottom, I wrote my actual weight, which was somewhere around 250. And I started writing different things that I need to do. So as an example, sign up to the gym, start visiting once a week, then start visiting twice a week, buy protein shakes, buy this, buy like all the different things that, from where you're at right now until wherever you need to get to the goal. Those are the things that would have had to happen for you to reach the goal. Because without that, you're not going to know how to get there. And this is where these little guys come in handy, where you're basically going to write down the things that you need to do on these, like small little things. I'm at the point where I use these for everything. If I need to do anything, in my day, I write it on here. Literally things like, like anything, basically anything. I'm not going to get into specific examples, but even the smallest little stuff, so you basically get the point. Now, the next thing I want to kind of go over. So first of all, before we kind of continue, does this make sense to you guys? If you guys are getting this, type in 6 in the chat box. Is this different than what you've been doing up until now? Let's hear some feedback. I want to know that you guys are getting this. While you do that, I will pour myself a nice glass of water. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of sixes, so that's good. So who's going to go down to the local Staples and buy some 3x5 cards this weekend? Okay. So somebody's saying this is very different. I had no system or strategy. Yes, it is very different. Okay. Somebody's saying this is totally different. Good to hear new information. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody's saying, I already have a pack right in front of my desk. Good, very good. So the next thing I want to address here is sometimes you're going to get to have to do things that will give you literally will give you dread. Like you're not going to want to do them. But here's the thing. Like, you need to do them, but you don't want to do them. We all have those things. I certainly have lots of those things. I have a lot of things I like to do, but sometimes I have things that I just don't want to do. Now, here's the thing. If you actually think about it, those things that need to get done that you're kind of dreading doing, some of them don't take a long time at all. Some of them are literally things that it would take you literally 2 minutes to do, and then it would be out of your world for until whatever next time you got to do that thing. So what you want to do is, some of the cards that you're going to write stuff on, what you're going to want to do, if that card is giving you dread, so to speak, think about how long will it take you to actually perform that thing that you're trying to do. And let's say if it takes you 5 minutes, it will take you all of 5 minutes to do it, or 10 minutes, or however long. Just take a pen and write down 10 next to it, like next to that thing that you need to do. What that's going to do is, that's when you look at the card and you see the number next to it, like how many minutes it's going to take to do it, 5 or 10 or 12 minutes, or however long it takes you to do it. What that's going to do is, you're going to immediately think in your head, oh man, I'm dreading over something that's going to take me 5 minutes to do. Let me just do it and get it the heck over with. That's something that's I've been using for a while, and it helps with those things that previously used to give me dread, but they're not giving me dread anymore, because I just write down the number next to it, whatever the number is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 12 minutes. You'll find that nothing on these cards should take you more than literally 20 minutes to do. If it takes you more than 20 minutes, you need to break it down to multiple cards. So hopefully that one makes sense. And if it does, just type in the number 9 in the chat box. So I know you guys get this. So the next thing I want to talk about is, and this one is a really important one, it's disconnecting. So a lot of you guys, certainly me before, I used to have, Messenger open, and I used to have my phone like on and stuff like that. I don't do that anymore, especially when you're working, when you're in work mode. What you want to do is, you want to completely disconnect. And this is not something that's going to be easy for you to do, because you're always thinking, oh, I'm, important, and well, what if an important message comes in? But if you actually look at your day, if you really look at your day, there's really nothing that important that's going on. Like for me, as soon as I kind of disconnected for the one day, it was tough. It was really tough, because you're always thinking, oh, what if an emergency happens? What if something this? What if something that? None of that stuff happens, okay? If there is a real emergency, the person should call 911. They really shouldn't be calling you. So that's kind of my mentality about it right now. You want to completely disconnect. When you're in work mode, you just want to be, literally, it's just you and the cards, and that's it. Facebook is closed. Everything else is closed. You want to guard that time with everything that you've got, and just focus and just get stuff done on the cards as much as you can in one sitting. Now, you do want to take breaks, like every now and then, because the CPU up here might burn out if you don't take a break. But essentially, you don't want to be having like 18 tabs open, and you're kind of trying to do something while the other tab is beeping and somebody's sending you a message on Facebook and this and that. Facebook is not that important, guys. Like, honestly, it's really not. Like, there's nothing on there that you couldn't not look at for a day and come back later and do it all at kind of one shot and get back to people one shot. This is why you don't see me on Facebook all day long. Like, I used to be on it. It's fun. You get to connect with people, this and that. But it's really crappy for business purposes. Like, it's not going to help move your business forward. You just want to completely isolate yourself from everything and everyone when you're doing your job. I mean, you can connect with people to complete whatever is that's on your card. So to give you an example, I communicate with Nick all the time, because there's things that we need to talk about. But overall, there's nothing that if my card says something to do with Nick, then sure, I send him a message and stuff. But I don't expect anybody to message me like instantly, because I know that if anybody wants to be productive, you don't do it like that. You don't just be available. The only thing that's available 24/7 is the toilet every day. So, you don't want to be the person that's available 24/7. You want to take your time very seriously, especially if you're trying to achieve certain goals, and just really like close everything down and just focus on the stuff that you need to get done. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and we got 2 more things left. two more things that that I want to go over. The next one is times of the day. So if you look at your day, and your day, again, everybody's day is different. For me, as an example, I find that I have certain times in the day that I'm a lot more productive than other times in the day. Those times are usually about an hour after I woke up. That's when I'm the most productive, and not productive, but the most alert, aware. My brain is at like 100% availability for processing stuff, versus if I'm working at 2 o'clock at night and I've had a long day and stuff, then my brain is not going to have as much effectiveness as I do an hour after I wake up. So especially when you're kind of going through the different things that you need to do, don't try to do those things that will take 100% of your attention at times that don't make sense. Leave those cards. If a card is going to require some thinking, something that you need to pay attention to, something that's not just an automatic kind of 2-second kind of a response, those cards, you can leave them to the night. But the important ones, or maybe not, maybe the night for you is the most productive time. But think about, when is it that you're most productive? Pay attention to your day. For me, another one, which we're going to get to in a second, I find that I'm a lot more productive, again, about an hour after I wake up. That's where I do like really, really the most important things that require the most kind of brain power for me, like things like writing copy and doing all the really important stuff, like system stuff and behind the scenes stuff and that kind of stuff. And that's basically the times of the day stuff. So figure out what are the times of your day that you're most productive, and make sure that you're aligning your day correctly with the cards that you have. So you're only handling the cards that are really requiring the most kind of brain CPU power, so to speak, at the times that you're most productive, and you're basically doing all the other stuff at the times that you're not, your brain is not necessarily at the most productive state. Now, here's another one that's, this is a little hack that I basically use, especially when I know I need to have my brain super clear, fog free, and basically at maximum kind of availability for processing, is fasting. I know that it makes no sense at all, but try not to eat. Like, just don't eat. Some days my first meal is at like 5-6 o'clock. I wake up somewhere around 10-11, and I don't eat anything until 5-6, because what happens is, and there was a research that was done about this, from literally any activity you could potentially think about that you could possibly do, lifting weights, running, talking, thinking, all that kind of stuff, there is one activity that's the most taxing for the body, like yourself, basically. And if you can guess what that activity is, just type it in the chat box. I'm going to give it to you in a second, but think what could be the most taxing activity that you could potentially ever do. What is that? Type it in the chat box. I want to hear you guys guess a little bit. Somebody's saying lifting weights. No, that's not it. All right. 2 people got it. Actually, 3 people got it. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's getting it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's digesting food. You got it. Digesting food is the most taxing activity from anything else you could potentially do on your body, on your brain, on everything. So literally, if you give your body a break from food, if it doesn't need to process any food. Now, water is fine. Water is no big deal. Like coffee with no sugar is fine. Like literally black coffee, tea with no sugar is fine. But nothing else, like nothing that has any kind of, so that's basically it. Just water, black coffee, and tea. You can consume those, and you'll find your mental sharpness, like your acuity, your everything about you just become version 2.0 with your brain. And I do that a lot. I mean, the longest I've ever done was a 4-day fast where I didn't consume any water, any food, anything. And in that 4-day period, which wasn't too long ago, I was able to produce so many different things that like it was amazing. It was like I felt like I've created what I potentially in a different state would have done, and it would take me maybe a couple of weeks to do. So you don't need to take this to the extreme like I did. I like experimenting with stuff. 4 days is a lot, and it was kind of tough a little bit, but I just wanted to see how far I can take it, and it worked. It worked great. Lost a bunch of weight, and mental sharpness was like through the roof. So give yourself a break from food. If you know that you have something coming up, a day coming up where you really want to focus and you need your brain to be at 100% like effectiveness, try not to eat for like a long time. And you'll see it's actually not that hard. Like I have multiple days where the first meal that I have in a day is at 5, 6, sometimes 7 o'clock at night. So yeah, JJ, 4 days, no food, no water. That's right. And it was fine. It was actually fine. There were some times that it was a little bit tough, but it was fine. I didn't just do it straight. Like I tried 1 day first without it, and then took a break, and then 2 days, took a break, 3 days, took a break, and 4 days was the longest. Now, I'm not telling you guys to go ahead and fast for 4 days. Don't do that. There's a pretty good chance that you might die from that if you don't know what you're doing. So don't do that. But in a day, what you could do, like if you know that you have some stuff coming up, is just don't consume anything. Just stick to water, stick to black coffee, stick to tea, and you'll find that your mental like overall capacity is like much, much, much bigger. All right, guys. So that's basically everything that I wanted to cover. So first one, again, let's kind of quickly go over these. First one is the 3x5 cards. This is essential. If you do nothing else, if you take nothing else from this call, just get the 3x5 cards and start breaking down whatever things that you need to do. Second thing is completely disconnect. When you're doing work, you're doing work. You're not doing anything else. Do one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Don't try to do 7 things at a time. If anybody's giving you the song and dance about multitasking, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. One thing at a time will get you all the results that you need. Third thing is put minutes on things that it's giving you dread. If you are dreading doing something and it's on a card, just think, okay, how long is it going to take me to do this? Is this a 2-minute thing that I've been dreading for 3 days to do? Just type, put the number 2 on it. And this way you look at it, you're like, man, I'm obsessing over a 2-minute, something that's going to take me 2 minutes to do. You just do it and you move on. Fourth thing is bridge the gap. Start using that. Bridge the gap. You don't need to do it every day. I do it about once a month for new goals that I have. I put whatever I need to achieve up there. I put wherever I am down here. And then whatever steps need to happen in between where I am and where I need to get to. And as long as you're doing some of those things that are on the bridge, you're always basically moving towards your goal. So hopefully that makes sense. The next one is the times of the day. So start paying attention to the times of the day that you have your most capacity, and leave those things that will take the most kind of brain power to those times of the day. And the last thing is fasting. Try, if you do have something coming up that you need the CPU power, so to speak, try not eating for that day, especially like after a big meal. I'm done. This is why, by the way, when I went to Texas, I didn't take my laptop with me. I didn't take anything with me because I knew that in Texas, I was going to go in and out of comas the whole day. Like basically, we're going to go to Chili's, we're going to have a giant burger, and I'm going to go to the hotel and just lay down and just relax until the food kind of digests. And I can't do work like that. I can't do any work. And plus, it doesn't make sense when you're on vacation to do any kind of work. So that's basically how you want to kind of do it. So any questions, guys? Any questions that you guys have? Let's address any questions and go from there. If you got any questions, just type them in the chat. And if you guys don't have any questions, I guess we'll wrap it up in a few minutes. Okay, I don't see any questions come in, so I guess I did a great job explaining this stuff. Okay, so some questions are coming in now. All right. So first one. Okay, JJ wants to know what's an example of one of my cards. So let me see. So as an example, one of the ones that I have here is get an account with authorize.net. Authorize.net is it's like PayPal, but it's just basically a credit card processor. So this is something that I've already like worked on today. I submitted the application. I'm waiting for them to basically get me approved and stuff. So as soon as the account is done, I'm going to take this card, basically move it over there. And then another one that I have here today that I basically wrote down is productivity webinar for the leaders. So this is, again, something that I needed to do, that I wanted to do. And I just wrote it down on a card. And guess what? Tonight, I just got to the card. I announced it, and here we are. So that's another example. So hopefully that answers that. Let's see. Felice is saying, David, that was really interesting concept. Man, I'm glad you liked it. That's good. More importantly, implement this. Like, actually start using this stuff. Don't just leave it to like the webinar realm of something you saw and you liked for like an hour. Okay, Maureen is asking, what is Bridge the Gap again? So Maureen, I'm not sure if you were here for the session, but Bridge the Gap, you're going to get a chance to see the webinar replay. But essentially what it is you take a piece of paper and you write down at the top whatever goal you want to achieve. So let's say your goal is to build a list of 10,000 subscribers. That's the example I was giving earlier. So at the top, you would write a list of 10,000 subscribers. That's basically you achieving your goal. At the bottom, you write where you're at right now. So over here on the page would be the goal achieved already. Down here would be where you're at right now. And you need to be brutally honest with where you're at, okay? Nobody else is going to get to see this page except you. In between, there's going to be some blank space. That's essentially your bridge. On that bridge, you need to write the things that need to happen for you to bridge over to the goal. So essentially, if you, as an example, have no subscribers right now, or maybe you have a list of 75 people or 300 or 2,000 or whatever it is, you write down currently have a list of 75 people. Now, in between the 75 and the list of 10,000, what needs to happen for you to get to the 10,000? You're going to need to research some vendors. You're going to need to get some traffic, like maybe 500 clicks per week, 1,000 clicks per week. You're going to need to maybe lock some automatic purchases with vendors. The vendors are getting you good results. You want to maybe lock a weekly deal with them, or a monthly deal, or a bi-monthly deal, or whatever. And basically, put that on the list of things to do. Now, all those little things that are on your bridge, those are the things that go on your cards. Okay, so as an example, research 3 vendors on Udemy. That's something that you can just put there. You could also start with just one, research 1 vendor on Udemy, and then do another card for tomorrow for research another vendor on Udemy. So basically, all of the things that are on your bridge go on your cards. Now, on your cards, basically what you do is you want to have small little bite-sized chunks, things that you need to do. And that's basically how it works. You got your stack and you pick one and you look at it and you're like, okay, let's get this thing done. And you do it, and then you're done. You put it in the other pile of the completed stuff. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. Faisal is saying I'm going to start it this weekend. Cool, man. Good stuff. That's something that you should start it and never end it, because it's going to help alleviate all the overwhelm, all the anxiety, all the dread of getting stuff done. And use it not just for online stuff. I use it for everything. Literally, if a thought comes into my head about something I need to do, I just put it on a card and I forget about it. Like the other day, I knew that when I came back from Texas, I didn't have enough shopping. Like I didn't do enough. I didn't have any groceries and stuff in the house. So I put down order groceries. So I went online. I got to the card, went online, ordered a bunch of stuff, finished, put the card away. The next morning, somebody knocks on my door, delivered all the stuff. I was done with it. You don't have to think about it anymore. So that kind of stuff. Okay, guys. So any other questions? Do you guys have any other questions? By the way, if you got value out of this, what I want you guys to do is just open the Facebook group and just hit the like button if you haven't already, and just type in, what was your biggest kind of takeaway from this webinar, just so other members of the leaders group can see it, and maybe people who missed this, because I know we got people all over the world. Maybe they're sleeping right now or something. People who didn't get a chance to see this can register and basically see it too. So just go to the Facebook group, and under the thread where I announced this, just type in what was your takeaway, and that's basically it. So unless we got, okay, I already see people typing stuff. Cool. Okay, anything else, guys? Anything else? I want to make sure you guys get all your questions answered here. And if there's no other questions, I guess we'll finish up this live. Quick update. I know I announced that there's going to be a beta testing group that's coming up. That is coming soon. Okay, I thought I was ahead of schedule when I announced it. We're actually not ahead of schedule. I'm right on schedule. So I'm going to be doing another live on that soon. So stay tuned in the group, the leaders group, to be able to get that access to that. I'm going to be picking 3 people from the group to basically be able to jump in on the beta test, which I don't have any details for you guys right now. I will soon though. So let's see. Anything else? So Felisa, step to achieve your goals. Yeah, so that's, I guess, the answer to that. Okay, guys, so I guess that's basically it. I see people just saying thanks. Okay, I see people already commenting in the Facebook group. So I guess we're done. Unless there's anything else, just type in real quick right here, and we'll catch you guys on the next live. All right, thanks, JJ. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So that's it for this webinar. I think we're done here. Implement this, okay? This is really simple stuff. This is the box that I have with all of my cards. Let me just show you this. I bought a gigantic one from Staples. I think the box was like $20 or something. But basically, all of these are empty cards. So I just open all of the thing. Whenever I need to write something down, I just pick one, write whatever I need, and I am done. And you just want to make sure that you keep this always full of blank cards, so you're constantly, like writing stuff down. And you're going to know, like example, if you finish a box, if it takes you a month to finish a box like this, you know that you've done 300 things, 300 items, essentially tasks, to move your business and your life forward. And that's huge, okay? Because most people, they get stuff done, but they have no way of tracking it. They have no way of knowing how many things they did this month or this week or this day. I don't track it per day, but what I do is I know that, in a week, I'll probably finish about half of this. So in a month, I'll go through probably over 700, 800 things to move my business forward and kind of keep progressing and stuff. So that's basically it. All right, guys. So have a good one. Implement this stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next. I'll see you guys in the group. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.